Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a moment since I posted, but I'm here. Thank you to all the people that follow me. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, turn on post notifications so that you know when I post another video tutorial. Today we're going to make this distress sweater. It's really simple to make and it's a quick autumn project. So let's begin. So the supplies we're going to need is some yarn. I'm using a chunky yarn, a darning needle, a 5mm hook, a 6mm hook, a pair of scissors, tape to take measurements, and some stitch markers. I don't have stitch markers with me right now, so I'm just going to use pieces of thread as stitch markers. The amount of yarn that you're going to need we will put in the description box below for sizes from extra small to 5 extra large. I also have a written pattern in the description box. So we're going to start by making a chain for the collar. So we're going to do the ribbing for the collar with a 5mm hook, and then we're going to make a chain of 17. Once we're done with the chain, we're going to single crochet in the second stitch from the hook and then single crochet across all the stitches. So I'm done with my chain, and then we're going to chain one and turn, and then in the back loops only we're going to single crochet in the back loops only. So normally we single crochet through the 2 loops, 1, 2, like this, but we're going to single crochet only in the back loop. So single crochet in the back loop only in all the stitches across. And once we're done with this, we're going to finish and then chain one and then turn. And for the rest of the rows that we're going to do, we're going to be working in back loops only. So we're going to work in back loops for the small sizes from extra small to large. We're going to work 63 rows, and for 2XL to 5XL we're going to work 71 rows. So just continue working in the back loops, and I'm going to see you when I'm done with my neck. Done my 63 rows. For the larger sizes you'd have done 71. So we're going to join the neck and how you join is you just bring the two pieces together, the two sides together, sorry, and then we're just going to slip stitch into the first stitch. You can actually use this opportunity to cover this yarn, and then we're going to slip stitch through both. So just follow the contours of the stitches until you reach the end. This will be your 64th row. The story, so your 64th stitch in after fact. So this will be your stitch. This will be your 64th stitch or your 72nd stitch. Now we're finished. Now I'm at the end, and I'm just finishing on the corner there and pull through. Then what you're going to do is you're going to turn. So this is your neck. It's going to stretch once you turn it. So this will be your wrong side and this will be your right side, and we're going to be working in a round, but we're going to be turning at the beginning of each round. So we've done the last stitch. There it is. You're going to chain one. You change to a 6mm hook, right? So we're going to single crochet around and start the increasing, and the increase will be chains. So each row will be a stitch. So when you're counting 1 2 3 4, you're counting 1 2 3 4. So we're going to single crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next stitch. That's 2, then chain 1. Do not skip although you've chained 1. We're increasing now, so you're just going to single crochet 1 2 3 4, then chain 1 and another 4. So you're going to continue like this until the end. So you're going to single crochet 4 and then chain 1, and you're going to be left with one row. So I'm going to see you at the end of that row. So I'm on the last set of the 4 single crochets. So I'm going to chain 1, and I have 1 row left here. So I'm going to single crochet in the last row and then slip stitch into the first chain. All right, and then you chain 1 and turn. So we're going to continue with increasing by just adding chains. The exercise that we're going for is from your shoulder to your underarm, which is half the size of your sleeve, and then the full length of you including the sleeves. So if your bust is, let's say, 34 and your sleeves are, like for this piece I'm making, the bust is 34 and my sleeves are 12. So it's 12 plus 34 plus 12, which is 58 inches. The important measurement is the width. So let's say you get here first with your chains, but you haven't gotten to the width. Continue until you get the full width, which is, as I repeat, your sleeve, your full sleeve, plus your bust, plus your full sleeve on the other side. So if you're folding it like this, it'll be half of that. So it'll be 6 plus 17 plus 6, which is 29. So this should be 29. You see, 29. There you go. So to work the second row, you chain 1, turn, and what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet in all the single crochets. So there's the first single crochet we did, and then chain 1 over the chain 1. Do not single crochet in the chain 1, and then skip the chain 1 and single crochet 4, 2, 3, 4, and then chain 1 again. Don't single crochet in the chain 1, single crochet in the 4 stitches. 3, 4, chain 1, and then single crochet 4. Continue until you are at the end of the row. I will have 2 stitches at the end of a row, so I'll see you then, and to continue with the next row. So I'm now at the end of the row with the last 2 stitches. So I'm gonna single crochet in the last 2, and then slip stitch in the chain 1, as always. Chain 1 and turn. From here I'm going to explain what's going to happen. So we have done 2 rows adding stitches using a chain 1 in between 4 stitches. So the next 2 rows we're going to add 1 more stitch by doing chain 2. So how you're going to do it is single crochet in the single crochet where we chained 1, you're going to chain 2 and skip the chain 1, and then single crochet 4 stitches. 3, 4, and then chain 2, and then single crochet 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then chain 2, and then continue until the end of the row. I'm now at the end of the row. I'm gonna slip stitch, chain 1 and turn. The next row I'm just going to repeat the same. So single crochet in all the single crochets, and then chain 2 over the previous chain 2. 3, 4, and then chain 2. So I'm going to do this until the end of the row, and then I'm going to explain what we're going to do from here on to get the measurement that we want. So I'm at the end of the row. I'm gonna single crochet the 2 and then slip stitch in the chain 1, chain 1, turn. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to be repeating the same principles adding a stitch in the first row and not adding the stitch in the second row. So as you can see with this one, I've already done like up to where the size is going to be. So in the 5th row, I'm going to be chaining 3, and in the 6th row I'll just repeat the 5th row chaining 3, and then in the 7th row chain 4, in the 8th row chain 4, in the 9th row chains 5, in the 10th row chain 5, and go on from your shoulder to your underarm, which is half the size of your sleeve, and then the full length of your of you, including the sleeves. If you get the written pattern, all these measurements are clearly highlighted. You get the number of stitches for each size. So the written pattern has an extra small to 5 extra large, so you're going to know exactly how many additions you're going to do to get to your size. So that's available in the written pattern, which you're going to find in the description box below. So I'm going to go away and I'm going to work my sweater up to below the bust. Then we're going to come back and add the sleeves and finish it off. To form the sleeves, you're going to count halfway your work, which is 200. So my 200 is somewhere here. Okay, so that's half of my halfway. That's because I've got 400 stitches around, so that's 200. I'm making a medium, but for other sizes the number will be different. So just take all your stitches, divide by 2. If you have the pattern, it's going to tell you exactly how many stitches you're working with. Then you take your tape and then measure, get half of your sleeve wherever it starts and stops. So here it's 6 inches, so I've got a panel of 4 chains and a panel of 4, and then half of chain, and I do the same at the back. Again, if you have the written pattern, it will have the exact number of stitches that you will put for each size. For the smaller sizes, it will be 4 single crochet panels and then 3 chain paddles. For the larger sizes, it will be slightly different. It will probably be 5 or something like that. So just, you can just measure it out. So just measure the size of your sleeve, measure half your work, the number of stitches half. Mine is 200, and then just measure the number of stitches. But if you have the purchase pattern, you're going to get the exact number of stitches that you're working with. Then you take your yarn and join on the one side. Don't join on both sides, join on the one side. Let me make a slip knot. And join on the one side, and then chain 1. This will be your first stitch, and then we're just going to continue with the very last stitch count. So we're going to start with single crochet 3, and then chain 11. I'm working with 11 here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then single crochet 4, again 2, 3, 4. Remember, this number of chains will differ from size to size. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then another 4 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, then another 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 1. This is where it gets a bit tricky because we want to maintain the number of 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then you slip stitch into the first stitch in the chain 1, which will now be your first stitch. Okay, and we're just going to continue, no increasing, no more adding of stitches, no decreasing. We're just going to continue until we get to the end. So the size from here to here will be the same until we have to do the ribbing for the sleeve. So to get the right size, you can just take your own measurements. If you have the pattern, it's going to show you per size how many rows you need to make. So just continue. Remember, when you chain 1, you turn. So we're not working in one direction, we are alternating. So we turn back. The reason is you don't want a crooked seam. So just continue until you get the length of your sleeve, and then we're going to do the ribbing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can pause now. I'm going to go off camera and finish the sleeve, and then I'm going to come back, and then we're going to finish this, and then we're going to work the ribbing at the bottom. You can actually leave it like this, but I'm going to give you the option to do the ribbing as well. So I'll see you when I'm done with my sleeve. You can see to the length up to my wrist. So that's how far you should do it so that it fits well. So this is 51 rows. Now in the 52nd row, we're going to decrease. In the next 2 rows, we're going to decrease to make the ribbing for the sleeve. So what we're going to do is, still following the same pattern, chain 1, turn. We're going to single crochet 2 stitches together, so 1, 2, all round. Okay, so this part is going to be a bit tricky, but it's not. We're going to work into the chain itself. So what you do is, and when you get here, you single crochet in the next stitch, and then into the first chain of the chain, yarn over and pull through. And when it comes to the chain, you're going to be single crocheting in each chain. You're going to be single crocheting 2 to decrease in each chain. So in the next one, it'll be single crochet and then single crochet. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, then 5. Okay, there you have it. And then you go into the next 2 stitches of the single crochets, 1, 2, and then you single crochet 2 together of each chain. You have to go in the chain to decrease, otherwise it won't work. 3, 4, 5, and you have 1 stitch left, so you're going to do that 1 stitch and then the chain 4. So that will be the sequence, and continue until you are at the end of the row, and I'm going to see you at the end of the row. I'm now at the end of the row, doing my last single crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch in the chain 1, turn. In the next round, we're going to 2 single crochet, 2 stitches together again, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. So it will be 1, 2 single crochet, decrease, and then a single crochet, and then a decrease, and then a single crochet, and then a decrease. It's raining, guys. And then a single crochet, and then a decrease, and then a single crochet, and then a decrease, and then a single crochet, and then a decrease, and then a single crochet. Continue until the end of the round, and then a decrease, and then a single crochet. You're done, and you're going to slip stitch in the chain 1, and then chain 1. You're done with your 6mm. Set it aside and pick up your 5mm again, and now we're going to make the ribbing. How to make the ribbing is very easy actually. It's just back loop single crochets. So you're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're going to have 7 stitches, and then I always go into the back bumps. It just looks better. Single crochet in the back bumps all the way back, okay. You have 7 stitches. That's how it's gonna look like. And then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch, and then turn. You just need to make sure that you're turning in the same direction. Whichever direction you choose, just turn the same way each time, and then skip that slip stitch you did before, and then go into the first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain 1 and turn, and then single crochet back. 6 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then slip stitch into the next stitch, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. Do not chain 1, turn, skip the first skip stitch of this first slip stitch, and then single crochet in back loops only the 7 stitches. continue like this until you get to the end. I'll see you when I get to the end so we can join this edging. So I have one stitch left here, so I'm just going to work that stitch and then join at the bottom of the first row that I made. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then into the last stitch, slip stitch, and then at the base of the first stitch. We're not gonna do a row. What we're going to do is we're going to turn this inside out. So we're going to turn it inside out like this. Okay, so this will be your wrong side, and then we're going to slip stitch through to join, like the way we did for the neck ribbing. So just bring the yarn out there and then slip stitch through both stitches. So you have 7 on each side, so just slip through the 7 stitches, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the top, and you're done. Do the same on the other side of the sleeve and weave in this end later. All right, so you could be done with the sweater as is if you just want those like a cropped sweater. It actually looks really great like this, but what we're going to do here now is we're going to put ribbing here. So we're going to do the same work, a round of single crochet, but we're not going to decrease, and then we're going to work the ribbing. So let's start. You go back to your 6mm, so not the 5, to the 6, and go to where you joined for your sleeve. Okay, go to where you joined for your sleeve, and then make a slip knot to your hook, and then chain 1. Okay, then we're just going to single crochet evenly across. So single crochet across all the stitches. What you need to do is when you get to the chain, you don't have to go inside the chains. You can single crochet at the top, but just make sure that you have the same number of stitches of the chain. So I have 11 here, so I'm going to single crochet in here 11 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then when you get to the 4 single crochet, you single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have a chain again, so we're going to do 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then single crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So continue until you get back to the beginning, and then we're going to start the ribbing. And you can pause now and I'll see when I'm done with my round. And I'm going to slip stitch and pull through, and now we're going to put our 6mm aside and bring the 4mm. Now here's where it gets interesting. The ribbing here, you can choose it to be as long as you want or as short as you want. If you want a short ribbing, make a chain of 15, but if you want a longer ribbing, make a chain of 21. So now we're done, and we're going to make a ribbing for the bottom. This is very simple. We're going to make a chain of 17, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. If you want the sweater to be longer, you can make a longer ribbing, but I'm going with 17. And then I'm gonna single crochet all the way back in the 16 stitches. And then 16, and just like we did on the sleeve, we're going to be single crocheting in the next, we're going to be slip stitching in the next stitch, and then the next stitch, then turn, and then skip the slip stitches and single crochet 17 in back loops until the end of the row. And in the very last stitch, single crochet, chain 1, turn, and then in back loops, single crochet 16 stitches across. Then slip stitch into the next stitch, and then the next stitch, turn, remember do not chain 1, skip the slip stitches, and then in back loop single crochet across. And you're going to continue like this until the end of the row, and then join in the same way you joined the sleeve, and after that you're done. You're done. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Until next time, thank you for watching.